Question. Dalton from IG says, how do you keep your faith life consistent and keep your soul full of zeal? I feel as if I haven't been as excited or passionate about church or the Bible and learning.
One more time.
How do you keep your faith life consistent and keep your soul full of zeal? I feel as if I haven't been as excited or passionate about church or the Bible and learning.
Discipline is one of those things that doesn't have a sexy feeling with it. Discipline is not always a good feeling. But the beautiful thing about discipline will always reward you. Do I always feel like reading my Bible? No. Do I always feel like me and God are on fire? No. But I know for a fact, it's not about his faithfulness. It's about my faithfulness that will determine how faithful I will be. My faithfulness is what keeps the fire going in me. The best thing that keeps me full of zeal for Dalton is that I first must understand who, and I must establish my why. Who and why will solidify the what, the when, and the where, or the how. When I know who he is and how present he is in my life, when I'm completely aware that he is God with me, that he's God before me, that he's God behind me, that he's God that's intricately woven everything for the ultimate good of him and I and the advancement of his kingdom. When I understand who he is, I'm able to understand the character of God for the specific situations that I face. Once I know who he is, how he moves, how he thinks, now I can establish my why. Why am I even here? Why am I even in love with God? Why am I even on this mission? So that when you have established your who and your why, it doesn't matter what you face or when you face it or where you face it or how you face it. You know who you're facing it with, and you know the motive behind which you're going to press through. Without a why, you're going to be wishy-washy. With a why, you specific, you strategic, because you know, God, you have created in me the ability to do whatever I need to do. So what I must do is that I know for a fact that when I'm faithful to him, I will be fully rewarded from my discipline. Listen, when you say, you know what, I don't feel the zeal, I don't feel the fire, then who or what is pointing the water hoses on that fire? What things are you practicing? What is your environment like? What is around you? Because you don't lose fire just to be losing fire. You lose it because something strategically wants to put that fire out. When you understand that you're in the middle of a warfare, and you understand that the moment that you drift yourself from God is the moment you're going to lose your fervor in his word. Listen, when you far away from God, the word is not appealing. Praying is not appealing. But when you say, you know what, God, I know I don't feel like praying. I know I don't feel like worshiping. I know I don't feel like fasting. That's when discipline kicks in. See, many of us, we get stuck at desire. We get stuck at desire and we wonder why we don't operate in the divine, because desire is only going to get you as far as you have the desire to do it. Discipline is what continues the desire. That I know who I'm called by, why I'm doing it. Therefore, when I am in those situations of doubt, worry, insecurity, or just not feeling it, I know for a fact I got a corner that I can go to. I got a prayer closet I can go to. I can immediately switch the gears back into fervency with God. That's why you got to have systems in place just in case your fire's put out. Many people, they have no systems to kick them back in to fire. That's why I know for a fact, let me tell you what I do. When I find myself not wavering, when I find myself like not as, man, I don't feel like praying today. Immediately I say, you know what, that's the old Josh, or the Josh that's out of love. So what I do, I go to a corner, I go to my closet, I go to my car, and I say, you know, I got 3 go-to worship songs that I know for a fact is going to get my mind back in sync into thinking exactly and to be in awe of God. Once you're out of fire, you got to be in awe of him, where you actually saying, God, you know what? The Bible doesn't say enter his course with petitions. It says enter into his course with praise. He didn't say enter to his course with pouting. He says with praise. Listen, start being thankful. When I start feeling bad, I'd be like, you know what? I'm feeling bad in a car. Josh, there was a time when he used to walk. Josh, there was a time he used to catch the bus to unplug. and you're having an attitude for 5 minutes in a blessing? Oh, Josh, sometimes I got to go close the door to my office when I get upset with them kids. And I'm like, man, these kids going to make me choke them out, Father. And God be like, don't you know you making $6 more than the last job you at? There's always something to be thankful for that in those moments of doubt can kick you back into gear where you're able to say, you know what, God? The zeal is back because you know who called you. You know why you're called, and you're able to get beyond the what, the when, the where, and the how. If you focus on the when, the what, the where, and the how, those things will always distract you from your who and your why. But I promise you, if you focus on who he is and why he has called you, and you just coast with him, all those other question words will be answered surely. So when you don't feel zeal, or fervor or passion about God's word, open the Bible. It's that simple. Because I promise you, if you feel doubt about God's word, all you got to do is go to God's word and say, you know what, I'm going to discipline my flesh to read now. An undisciplined flesh is never going to be faithful to the things of God. But a spirit who's in leadership in your essence will ensure that you say, you know what? Flesh, you will read. Flesh, you will pray. Flesh, you will get into God's courts. And I promise you, after 30 seconds of making a decision, it's as if you never left.